Patterns of practice, literature circles. A photo story created by Josh Peterson, Liberty University, Education 632, Language Acquisition and Instruction. What is a literature circle? Literature circles are small groups of students who meet together to read and respond to self-selected books. This year, a study was conducted by psychologists observing the effect that literature circles had on more than 200 students who are considered at risk for academic failure. In this study, trained educators implemented literature circles for 30 to 60 minutes a week. What effect did literature circles have on the social and leadership skills of at-risk students? There were many reasons as to why the students grew more confident socially and as leaders in the classroom. The collaborative classroom environment caused students to accept one another despite various differences. Also, students who are at risk tend to miss opportunities to work with their peers. This happens because of the need of at-risk students to spend time away from whole class activities in order to practice basic skills. Students who take part in literature circles benefit because of the confidence built by feeling accepted and by contributing their own thoughts and ideas to their group. Sometimes one of the toughest jobs for any teacher is to keep students intrinsically motivated as they progress through their academic careers. Intrinsic motivation can be defined as motivation by a student which does not require any external reward. In other words, students read simply because they enjoy it. During recent years, a research study was completed based on the idea that reading motivation declines heavily as students enter the intermediate years. The researchers for this study were the University of Mississippi and the Oxford, Mississippi School District. These researchers developed a reading summer camp for the purpose of creating or reinforcing excitement about reading in intermediate level students. Did the students become motivated after attending the summer reading camp? Nearly all students who took part in the camp were motivated to read more often. This motivation came primarily as a result of the opportunity for students to choose their own reading material. Students found pleasure in being able to read a book that interests them, and then being able to share their literacy experiences with peers who have similar interests. The literacy experiences of students occurred in an authentic, real-life setting. In everyday living, we often share our interests and feelings with others. This same sharing occurs in literature circle activities. Survey data revealed that 89% of the student attendees enjoyed the book projects that they completed during camp. 97% of the student attendees stated that they would recommend this camp to a friend. After the camp concluded, there were many positive statements from both parents and students. A large majority of the parents said that they wished the camp would last longer. Another parent said that before this camp, her child was a struggling reader with very little confidence. When the child came home from camp, she told her parent that being able to read a challenging book in 1 week gave her a newfound confidence. Virtual literature circles. In today's world of advanced technology, students must learn to utilize current technology to enhance their educational experiences and to prepare for the real world. One high school teacher decided to research the engagement of the students when literature circles were conducted in a virtual setting. With this particular situation, an online blog was chosen as the appropriate technological tool. The ability for students to post and respond easily to peer comments made blogs the correct choice. It is important to note that students still met once a week with their peers in a traditional literature circle. When students worked on this online literature circle, the teacher noticed a higher level of engagement. Even students who typically failed to turn in traditional homework assignments completed tasks promptly in these online activities. The teacher also benefited from the online literature circle because she was able to read every idea shared by the students without missing out on any valuable discussion time. In a traditional literature circle, the teacher has difficulty staying connected to all of the discussions taking place at one time. Strengths of literature circles. Books that students are offered cover a variety of reading levels. Selecting their own text tends to motivate readers. Students build stronger social skills through heavy peer interaction. Authentic literary experiences take place. Each student can work at their own pace and is not rushed by a frenetic instructional pace. Teachers can selectively intervene when students need assistance thinking deeply about a particular book. Students learn responsibility for completing assignments and assessing their own learning. Weaknesses of literature circles. Teachers feel overwhelmed by a lack of control over the learning experiences of students. Children who struggle to stay on task and use time wisely may fail to succeed in this student-centered, independent learning environment. When choosing their own books, students will sometimes choose literature that is above or below the appropriate reading level. When incorporating literature circles into the classroom, a teacher needs to know what instructional strategies to implement. This can be difficult due to the facilitator role that teachers must take in order for literature circles to be successful. One specific strategy that teachers can attempt when students need assistance is to provide them with scaffolding through reading aloud to them or taking part in choral reading. Providing scaffolding means that teachers use support techniques to help a child complete a task successfully that is within their zone of proximal development. In the case of literature circles, a student who is having a difficult time reading part of the book they have chosen could have the teacher read this section aloud to them, or read along with the student by taking turns or reading in unison. How do struggling readers benefit from literature circles? Literature circles provide struggling readers with opportunities to practice their basic reading skills. The final goal of reading is for students to be able to comprehend, and cognitive thinking occurs as students are forced to think about what is happening in the story, as well as their own thoughts and ideas that can be shared during discussion time.